Welcome to the Explainer. So picture this, right? Four friends are sitting around a table, and they are locked in an absolutely massive, passionate debate. What's the big argument? Well, they're debating the distinct corporate cultures of India's major business hubs, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and Pune. We're going to break down this exact conversation today, looking at how each friend fiercely defends their own city as the ultimate blueprint for corporate success. Which really brings us to the million-dollar question. Which city actually has the best corporate culture? Take a quick second and think about what you value most in your own work environment. Do you thrive in a highly structured, traditional setting? Or, are you totally fueled by that fast-paced hustle? Maybe you prefer a chaotic, innovative startup vibe. Or honestly, perhaps a balanced, steady professional landscape is more your speed. As we explore the arguments these four friends are making, definitely keep your own preferences in the back of your mind. Because the core conflict of our source material basically boils down to this one singular belief. Quote, "The true driving force of India's corporate landscape belongs to my city." Now, as we unpack these arguments today, we are keeping things completely neutral. We're just looking at the DNA of these four distinct pillars.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First, the corporate culture debate. Then Pillar 1, Delhi. Pillar 2, Mumbai. Pillar 3, Bangalore. Pillar 4, Pune. And finally, finding your cultural fit.
So, Part 1, the corporate culture debate. Four friends, four cities.
The source text boils down to this really fascinating push and pull. It's four peers navigating the landscape, representing four cities going head-to-head. What this brilliantly highlights is how geography in India has effectively transformed into diverse corporate personalities. When these guys are arguing, they aren't just talking about office buildings or daily traffic. No way. They're talking about the literal DNA of how business is conducted, how success is measured, and how professionals actually interact with one another every single day.
Moving on to Part 2, Pillar 1, Delhi, Power and Hierarchy.
Right, so the first friend argues that Delhi is totally defined by power, influence, and traditional hierarchies. In this particular corporate world, structure is literally everything. You know exactly who's in charge. It's an environment deeply driven by relationship building and navigating established, almost historical corridors of influence. The core argument here is that this kind of traditional suit-and-tie authority actually creates stability. It gives you crystal clear expectations and an undeniable respect for established chains of command. But on the other side of the table, we have a completely different driving force. I mean, if Delhi is all about who you know and where you sit in the corner office, the next city cares only about how hard you work and what you produce. It is the classic corporate rivalry, right? Established power versus relentless, caffeinated drive.
Which brings us to Part 3. Pillar 2, Mumbai, Relentless Hustle.
The second friend steps right up to champion India's financial heart. Mumbai's reputation is built on a relentless hustle, a hyper-focused financial lens, and a notoriously fast-paced work ethic. In this argument, the corporate vibe isn't about some traditional hierarchy. It is all about sheer output. Time is literally money here. The friend defending Mumbai points out that the city's culture forces you to be incredibly resilient, super quick on your feet, and just unbelievably driven. It's basically a meritocracy of effort, where the sheer volume of your hustle dictates your trajectory in the financial landscape.
So, we've got Delhi's structured power on one hand, and Mumbai's financial hustle on the other. But then, the third friend throws a massive wrench into the traditional machine, pitting Mumbai's finance hustle right against Bangalore's tech vibe. We're officially shifting away from tailored suits and Excel spreadsheets directly into the disruptive engine of hoodies and late-night hackathons.
Let's look at Part 4, Pillar 3, Bangalore, Tech and Startup Vibe.
So the third friend argues passionately for an environment that's completely tech-centric, steeped in startup culture and entirely innovation-driven. Here, the entire debate shifts gears. Bangalore's culture is all about disrupting the norm. Think flat organizational structures, open-plan offices, and a fierce, relentless focus on creative problem-solving. This specific vibe celebrates agility and tech-forward thinking, basically arguing that true corporate success in the modern era relies on being an innovation engine rather than just climbing some traditional corporate ladder.
But, the debate doesn't just end with startup chaos. The fourth friend steps in to offer a much-needed counterweight, contrasting Bangalore's high-octane tech frenzy with Pune's emerging focus on corporate balance.
And that takes us to Part 5, Pillar 4, Pune, Corporate Balance.
Now, we absolutely need to give Pune equal weight as a central pillar here because the fourth friend's argument is highly compelling.
Pune's corporate vibe is this really unique blend. It manages to merge the modern, fast-moving world of emerging IT with the steady, grounded reality of traditional manufacturing. But most importantly, the friend-defending Pune argues for its unique work-life dynamics. In this view, the absolute best corporate culture is one that doesn't completely consume your life. It takes a bit of that intense tech focus from Bangalore and pairs it with a more measured, sustainable professional pace, creating a distinct ecosystem that perfectly rounds out this massive four-way debate.
Finally, Part 6. Finding your fit. Which pillar are you?
As we look at the big picture, remember, our goal with this explainer isn't to declare a winner, but to really understand the landscape. This matrix brilliantly illustrates it all. We have Delhi, representing power and hierarchy, Mumbai standing tall for finance and hustle, Bangalore flying the flag for tech and startups, and Pune representing a balanced blend of IT and manufacturing. Each city represents a completely valid, distinct ecosystem that rewards very different professional mindsets. None of them are objectively wrong. They are just fundamentally different approaches to professional life.
So as we step back from this debate, I want you to ask yourself, which of these 4 pillars belongs in your future? Do you want to climb the structured ladders of Delhi, chase the relentless financial hustle of Mumbai, totally disrupt the norm in Bangalore, or build a balanced, sustainable life in Pune? Knowing where you fit might just be the most important career move you ever make. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. See you next time.